In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what happened on the morning of August 8th, 2023 in Lahaina, West Maui during the first day of the fire. I have a lot of footage and I've decided to just show in chronological order what I did that morning. So my wife and I were living in Kapalua at the time, which I think is arguably one of the nicest places in Hawaii. It's our favorite. This is Lahaina, where the fire was burning. But as you can see, like I've said in a lot of my videos, I was 20 minutes away. I didn't even know there was a fire burning. The power went out at 5 a.m. and there was a huge amount of wind. So we decided to drive north along this very lightly traveled remote highway. And I went to this Blo Hole area where I used to like to go hiking. And this is what it looked like that morning. Now, the reason that I chose to go there is because there was no power, there was no internet, couldn't work, and there was a huge amount of wind. And the wind was actually coming from the right direction to kind of drive surf towards the Blo Hole. So I thought it would be fun to just walk down there and have a look at what was going on. So there was pretty big surf. It didn't disappoint. So I hung out there for a little bit and took a little bit of footage. So that is from this morning. I was totally oblivious to the fact that there was anything out of the ordinary going on. I thought there was just heavy winds that had taken the power out. And that's, I didn't think much more of it at the time. I had no idea that my life was going to change forever on this day. I thought the power was going to come back on in a few hours. Everything was going to be back to normal and I was going to be enjoying my life in Maui with my wife, living where we wanted to live, doing what we wanted to do. But I was very, very wrong about that. So there was one other stop we made on the way back down into town, which was this lookout point. Unfortunately, I filmed this in 16:9 rather than 9:16. I had absolutely no idea at the time that I was going to turn this into a TikTok video. I thought I was just zooming in to see what the surf looked like pounding against these rocks. Now, right now is really the first time I've really had any free time since leaving the island. You can consider this the first installment. I would like to do several of these videos. Hopefully people still care and they're still watching this because I can show everything that happened, all of my footage, and day by day how things began to break down there. Anyway, we then decided to continue south and go past Kapalua. Now here you can see Slaughterhouse, D.T. Fleming, Kapalua Bay, Napili Bay. These are some of the most beautiful beaches in the world if you guys ever get a chance to visit Maui, if things ever get back to normal. But anyway, we went to the Times grocery store, which was one of the close, there was another grocery store, but this was one of the closest grocery stores to our house at the time. We like to go there, so we went there that morning. Now, as we went down the hill and as we sort of came around the mountain, we saw smoke, and so we knew there was some kind of fire. It wasn't a huge amount of smoke at first. We thought maybe it was just a brush fire, maybe a single structure or something along those lines. But we decided to go investigate and find out what was going on. And so we drove south, and this is as far as we could make it. This is Kanapali. This is the area with all the resorts. And so we went down this intersection and we went to the Hyatt. Now, this is footage of the Hyatt. This is as far south as we could get. The highway was totally stopped, blocked off for reasons that were obvious the following day. I guess were obvious once I saw just the magnitude of this fire. But at the time, it was not obvious why the road was not moving. It seemed like you could just sit there and wait for it. But as I later found out, we were stuck there. The road was not going to open for quite some time. Now, this was the scene on that day from the Hyatt. This is what the fire looked like. The Hyatt itself lost power. Everything up here had lost power. They had some kind of backup generator that was just running basic necessities like the elevators. There was a little bit of emergency lighting on, but even in the lobby bathrooms, they were black. There was not lighting there. So all of the guests were kind of just wandering around, not sure what to do, and that's kind of what was going on. So here is where I was. This is the Hyatt, and you can see the next shot is going to be looking south. looking at Lahaina Town, which is obviously where the fire was burning. Now, this is the first shot that I ever took of this fire. This is when I first walked out of my car, walked down to the beach, and this is what I saw, and when I first began to appreciate just the magnitude of what was going on. But of course, I still had no idea just how dire the situation was, that we would end up moving off of the island. We, couldn't run the business for a long time. We was gonna have people chasing me around, all this other stuff. Anyway, then I went north, and this is the Westin, and you can hear this kind of eerie howl in there, very high winds. This is one of the main roads in and out of the resorts in Kapalua. You can see a very old tree has blown over. There was several of these that I saw that I got footage of. And there are actually cars that were having to drive on the sidewalk to get around this. So anyway, guys, I don't expect this to get to 10 million views like some of the initial videos did, but hopefully enough people are still interested in this, because as I find time to really tell the whole story and put all this footage together, I think this is actually going to be some of the best content that I release on the Maui situation. So please comment, share, follow, all those things, whatever you guys can do to try to support my efforts here, and hopefully some people are still interested enough to watch, because there is quite a story to tell. Now, I appreciate you guys watching. I am going to leave you with the raw sights and sounds of what it was like to stand on that coastline that day.